Hello, this is my presentation along with Andrea Foster and Sierra Berry. The difference between hate speech and freedom of speech. First things first, hate speech and free speech are not the same thing. Even though many individuals use the First Amendment declaring Americans the right to freedom of speech as a cover when spewing hateful rhetoric, there is a difference. As this picture is saying, hate speech is not like the same as free speech. Hate speech can be like very damning to some individuals. It is not very nice to yell at people because of a race or something. It's not the same thing as free speech. This is an intro clip.
Hey, they've already been called. They're just waiting. You know what? Maybe you should hang on a little longer. We'll see how it goes. Then we won't have to get the report by ourselves.
What is it you're doing here?
Then
walk.
out. Well, you've been here like 15 minutes now.
Let's go. Walk away.
Keep walking.
Walk away. Walk away right now. You need help? You got this, Antonio. I'm happy to help you. I didn't hit you. There's a difference between
Pretty
pushing
sure you
you.
were the aggressor, buddy.
You're aggressing on their neighborhood.
Someone came running.
Walk back.
You better walk away. You walk away. You're talking to my wife right now. Walk away. Walk away. Check it out. You do walk away or I'm going to carry your ass out of here. What do you want to do? Or what? What are you going to do? Let's go. Walk away. I'm about to do something to you. You better start walking. You better start walking. I ain't coming after you. You're in the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker. Get out. Get out. Where? Where's your house? What's your address?
Maybe we should walk you home.
Oh, you bet. You want to bet what I can do?
Okay,
Right
what's
now,
your
you're
address?
harassing the neighborhood. I'm not harassing anyone walking through the neighborhood. Where? But check it out. We are a tight-knit community. We take care of each other. A hell of a lot longer than your ass, because I have never seen you before in my life.
That's
Why
none
does
of
that
your
even
business.
matter to you? It doesn't matter. You know what? Get the hell out of my face. Get out of my face. Check it out, motherfucker. I ain't playing with you. You either get your ass moving or I'm going to move you. You want to bet? I'm about to show you what I can do. You better walk away. Walk away. Walk away. I'm walking. I'm following you. There's only one way out of here. It's right over there. You want to bet? Walk away.
Yep, that was a clip about hate speech where this white man would just like kick out a black guy.
Go away.
Okay, difference between freedom of speech and hate speech. Freedom of speech is a principle that supports the freedom of an individual or a community to articulate their opinions and ideas without fear or retaliation, censorship, or legal sanction. So, freedom of speech is basically just being able to say whatever without being like oppressed. For example, in North Korea, there is no freedom of speech. You say something wrong, you're going straight to jail or getting shot. But America is different. Freedom of speech. And I think that's what causes all of this to be like, all this hate speech to come out because of these freedom of speech laws. It's way too free. Hate speech is any kind of communication in speech, writing, or behavior that attacks or uses pejorative or discriminatory language with reference to a person or group on the basis of who they are. In other words, based on their religion, ethnicity, nationality, race, color, descent, gender, or any other identity factor. So it's basically just discriminating against a group simply because of what they are. So for example, if they're just like um, a gay black Jew, oh yeah, a lot of people will dislike that and try to get them out by swearing at them like earlier in that video. He was just a black man who was walking through the neighborhood. Yeah, he got cursed out so hard by a white guy. He was doing nothing wrong, just walking around the neighborhood. The difference between hate speech and free speech is intent. When individuals use free speech, their goal is to simply be able to express themselves freely without the intent to cause harm. However, when people use hate speech, their goal is to spread a hateful message with the intent of harming individuals or of certain identities. So basically, hate speech is like intentional, where you want to hurt someone simply because of their race. Free speech is just being able to express yourself without retaliation from the government or anything of any kind. These are two different things, and I think that's what a lot of people get confused about, is because it's way too free, and hate speech and free speech are basically like the same thing. As most of you know, the First Amendment protects our rights in terms of speech, religion, and the press. But just because it states that we have freedom of speech does not mean that hate speech will or should be protected under it. It is at times hard to differentiate free speech and hate speech from each other, which is why the government typically classifies hate speech as harmless and simply words unless it's direct, personal, and either truly threatening or violently provocative. This means that unless someone is targeting a specific group or individual while implying they will conduct some type of violent act, their words in the form of hate speech will go unseen without any consequences. So basically, you could just curse at them. But unless you say you're gonna kill them, no one's gonna care. Oftentimes, individuals are able to get away with hateful rhetoric and behavior because it is not overly racist, homophobic, sexist, etc. However, these microaggressions are still very harmful and have a negative impact on campus life. When the university encounters students using hate speech, those students should face immediate consequences, following whatever laws the campus has in place regarding hate speech. When there are reports of microaggressions on campus, the university should investigate these situations and take them seriously. While many people do not use explicitly hateful language, if what they're saying and/or doing is making other students feel targeted due to their particular social status, it should be treated seriously. I believe so. So a lot of people may like kill themselves because of the hate speech they endured. Currently, there are no laws in the US that are against the use of hate speech unless someone is targeting a specific person and threatening them. While the government does somewhat outlaw hate speech, it is simply not enough. Hate speech is allowed when the threat is immediate. However, under the First Amendment, any type of speech that is hateful that does not threaten somebody is allowed. This law should change to incorporate all of the above in order to prevent hate speech. Fighting words can be used to provoke the intended victim and be known as hate speech. Hate speech will continue to be accepted unless we specify what is allowed and what is not. And in this case, if you use the words to oppress and hate against each other, it should not be supported and thought of as a part of freedom of speech. And this is our works cited page.